Hey, what's going on, guys? So, Killing Floor 3 just dropped a pretty massive update, and this one is one of those patches that actually feels like it changes the game in a big way instead of just tweaking a few numbers here and there. The biggest thing for a lot of players is probably the return of Gunslinger, because that is the kind of perk people were going to ask about the second dual sidearms started feeling good again. And yeah, Tripwire really leaned into it. Gunslinger is all about fast, precise pistol play, moving quick, and making every shot count. It is not just one gun either. The update adds a whole set of sidearms and dual wield options, so you have that classic run and gun style that a lot of Killing Floor players remember. The 2058 Lawbringers give you that heavy revolver feel. The Night Adders are there when you want something faster. The Desert Eagles bring the big stopping power. The AF 2081 A1s lean into that 4-round burst kind of chaos. And then you have the single and dual Dare Konings as a backup option that still fits the perk really well. On top of that, there are new gadget and throwable tools, so it is not just, here are some pistols, good luck. It feels like a full kit built around the perk instead of one piece of it. And that matters, because if a perk is coming back in a game like this, it has to feel like it belongs, not like it was pasted in at the last minute. Then there is the new map, Rig, and this is one of those settings that sounds simple at first until you look at what it is actually doing. The whole thing takes place on the Hastur Oil Platform in the North Sea, so the vibe is already nice and grim without trying too hard. It is built around vertical movement, tighter routes, ladders, zip lines, all that stuff that makes the fight feel a little more frantic because you are never just holding one flat lane forever. That kind of layout tends to make Killing Floor matches way more interesting, because the second the map gives you multiple levels and new angles, the squad has to make real choices instead of just standing in one perfect spot and farming waves. And then the new boss, Moorcroft, looks like a proper endgame headache. This is not just another giant monster you shoot until it falls over. He uses firearms, rockets, gas, grenades, mortars, shields, and he brings in mire creatures during the fight. So the whole encounter sounds like it is built to keep you moving and reacting the whole time. On top of that, the new Suicidal difficulty finally fills that gap between hard and hell on earth, which is exactly the sort of thing players had been asking for when the challenge curve felt a little too wide in the middle. That alone gives the update a lot more staying power, because it is not just a content drop, it is also a way to reshape how people approach the game. What I really like about this update, though, is that it does not stop at the obvious flashy stuff. There are quality of life changes all over the place, and some of them are the kind of changes you only notice after a few matches and then realize you never want to go back. Being able to join a friend's party from the main menu is one of those simple but very welcome changes. Choosing a tier 3 weapon upgrade while crafting is another good one, because it cuts down on annoying back and forth. The crafting material exchange also helps the whole progression loop feel less clunky. There are improvements to aim assist behavior, toggle sprint, weapon audio, lighting, melee hit detection, and even the way dashing interacts with aiming down sights, which sounds small until you are actually playing and it stops getting in your way. They also added the remaining dual versions of the original sidearms, so even outside Gunslinger, there is more flexibility across the board. And on top of that, there is a big chunk of performance work here, especially on PC, with shader stutter being reduced, memory use being trimmed down, CPU and GPU workloads being tightened up, projectile pooling improved, animation costs reduced, and audio and effects work optimized too. That is the sort of patchwork that does not get the same attention as a new boss or new perk, but it absolutely changes how the game feels when you are in the middle of a match. It is smoother, cleaner, and it seems like they were trying to make the whole thing run better without sacrificing the chaos that makes the game fun in the first place. And then beyond that, there are balance changes across weapons, mods, perks, and enemies, plus a huge pile of bug fixes, collision fixes, matchmaking fixes, audio fixes, and map fixes, which is what you want from a patch this size, because it means the update is not just about adding more stuff, it is also about making the whole game more stable and more enjoyable to actually play for long sessions.